So the Red Hall is originally built in the 3rd century and was the biggest building at the time, and it was built as a temple for the Egyptian gods. But after that it's also been used as a church, as a synagogue and as a mosque, and today it's just pretty ruins. Don't you think the walls are like really tall?
Yes.
Like we normally don't see that when we travel. We travel a lot and see a lot of these places, but we never see walls that are this big.
Yes.
We want a cat instead of a carpet. So what do I know about carpets? I know that they're handmade in Turkey from natural materials and natural color. I know they take really long time to make, and I know they're very pretty on floors. So a carpet like this?
Bu yağcı bedir. Balıkesir yağcı bedir.
I don't understand that. But a carpet like this, he told me, takes 2.5 months to make and costs around 2,000 lira. It's beautiful. The security guys say we could not bring our gimbal in because it's professional equipment, which means that our footage now might be a little bit shaken, so as punishment I'm touching their stones. So it's great with a map that don't tell you where you are compared to the map. We're there. There's 3 things that makes Bergamon super famous and very unique. The first one is the Zeus altar, which is now in the Pergamon Museum in Berlin. The second one is it has one of the steepest features in Turkey. And the third one is that in ancient time it had the 2nd biggest library. Bergamon was built as a rival to Athens, and the Acropolis in Bergamon is an exact copy of the one in Athens, and at its peak there lived 20,000 people here. The Roman theatre is known to be the steepest theatre in the world. There can be seated 15,000 people on 18 different rows. It's the first time I don't understand the map. I'm awesome at maps, but this is all... And then half of it is in German. I do understand it, but große Alter Abre Agora. It's an English flyer. Bergamon had the 2nd largest library in the ancient world. The biggest one was in Alexandria, and the 3rd one was Ephesus, which you will see in our next video. When it was biggest, it had 200,000 volumes, and they used to use papyrus, which they got from Egypt, but when Egypt found out that they might beat them in the size of their library, they stopped sending them papyrus, so they didn't have anything to write on. But then they found out, hey, we could write on old animal skin, like dried animal skin, and then we could stitch them together. And they did that, and that's like a book today. Alexandria and Bergamon were not just rivals on who had the biggest library, they were also rivals on art and on science. But the whole library thing actually fixed itself when Mark Antony married Cleopatra, because he gave her the entire 200,000 volume library here from Bergamon to Alexandria as a wedding gift to her. During the Ottoman Empire, a lot of stones and marbles from here was actually transported to Berlin, where I already told you they have a Bergamon museum. After World War II, some of the most important historical artifacts came back, and some of them is in the Bergamon Museum, which we visited before we came up here and before we started filming, and some of them is also in the museum in Istanbul. So is it worth visiting Bergamon city and Pergamon ancient city? And Bergamon city was super cute. There was a lot of small shops, there was a lot of traffic, there was a lot of really nice people. The Bergamon ancient city is also really nice, but you have to love history to come here. You have to think that it's important to see one of the 7 churches of Asia, the altar of Zeus, and the other things that I've mentioned in this video, because otherwise you wouldn't get much out of it. If I had to do it again, I would have hired a local guide, because the map is really bad and it's really confusing to get around here. So I would have hired a local guide. Subscribe to our channel!
Come to Miami.
Wait, now.